In this video, I'm talking with Laura Stone, author of A Pocket Guide to Purpose, about her third book, A Pocket Guide to Purpose for Teams. Laura, nice to speak with you. So this is the third in a series.
Yes.
The first one is sort of for everybody.
Yes.
The second one's for leadership in a business context. Mm-hmm. The third one is about teams, Pocket Guide to Purpose for Teams. Give me a sense of how this is distinct from the other two.
So when I was writing the third book and it came out of the process of my brainstorming and storyboarding, I realized the best analogy was a flashlight. The first book is a flashlight to self. Second is a flashlight to you, so I as a leader helping you figure out your purpose. This one's a flashlight on all of us as a team to think about why are we really here, what's the work that's only unique to this group, and what's the most important work that will continue to leverage everyone's gifts.
Okay, this makes sense to me. Now, we're talking about really any team,
yes.
But where you have worked over the last few decades is particularly in business. And I imagine you've run into some dysfunctional teams over time.
A few.
So how does this work impact these sort of team situations?
So how many times have you walked into a meeting and you didn't know why you were there?
Too many times.
Unfortunately. And we do this all the time, where it gets into our calendars, someone else has invited us, we accept, we're too busy to go into looking at what's the purpose. And by the time we sit down in that meeting, we're actually still regrouping from the last meeting. And then 10 minutes in, we're like, wait a second, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? And then you could have realized that you didn't really even need to be at that meeting. So the idea is to have more intention and clarity sooner in the process about why are we really here. And so a team, when they're coming in and you've got a gazillion teams, you will know any team that has done this work, you will feel a sense of clarity and conciseness. And so when people are sending out the meeting agendas, they're going to know right away, how are we going to spend our time? And it's going to be very valuable because you make a difference because of your unique ability as well as everyone else in that room.
So I have a couple of distinct questions here,
Yeah.
Sort of two-parter really. I want to hear the word purpose. You've spoken about I want to be there and I want to be relevant and so on. But can you relate purpose to that context? But also something that's been coming up in our conversation is this idea of alignment within a team.
Yes.
Can you speak to that?
A little bit different word of purpose on this one is also about pride in work. What's going to make me proud of this outcome we're trying to get to? What's going to make you proud? And then collectively, we're looking at the process of understanding each person, that what do we have in common that's going to drive this? Now, pride in work is actually a really distinct term from a research standpoint. And I won't go too far into it, but there is longitudinal studies that talk about the difference when leaders think about purpose and pride in work. These are different in terms of superior results. They achieve superior results more often than the average leader. So what that translates to is they just think about this stuff more. So when a leader is thinking about it with a team concept, they're enabling a team to start answering the very essential questions first and foremost and not make assumptions and get people's buy-in and engagement much faster so that the alignment happens. And here's how the alignment happens. Very quickly. You have the conversation, you're starting to think about the end game, and you start looking at what's the work right now that we have to start with that's going to help align all the pieces together.
So this sounds, of course, to put all of that into one book, this is clearly a long book with tens of thousands of words.
No.
What does the book look like?
No, in fact, my books, and one of the themes that I've been given great feedback about is the book takes 10 to 15 minutes to read. It actually is a picture book for adults. And it's done intentionally because pictures are far more powerful and they're colorful. Mm-hmm. And it actually lights up a different part of our brain when you look at MRI studies. So there's incredible amount of research that actually has gone into these books. But what you see from it is not a list and a lot of dark pages of words that are 200 pages that you will never read. Mm. It's actually pictures that help illustrate and guide the conversation in a much lighter, more fun, creative way that makes it so that literally anyone who's running a meeting, anyone who has a team, can gain something from this to help the team advance and feel more engaged.
So I could take this book into a meeting and use it in that context, or use it as preparation?
Yes, absolutely. Great idea to use as preparation.
Okay, so outcomes of this book. If I'm buying this book because I run a team in some context or another, within business or outside, what am I getting out of this?
First off, you'll get the work done faster. So more efficiency. You'll get clarity very quickly around what the outcomes are, like why are we really here, which helps focus everyone, again, around efficiency. The third thing, though, is that you actually get people engaged in a much more heartfelt, connective way versus just sitting and going through the motions. They can't just sit back and be a fly on the wall. There's 3 things that all leaders have to do in meetings, every team member. You have to contribute in some way. Otherwise, if you're not contributing, then you ask a question to get more clarity, or you're affirming something that someone else has said. And this book forces you, the process forces you to do one of those 3 things. Because if you're just sitting back and not contributing, why are you really there then?
Why are you there?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot in this book, a lot of sophisticated ideas distilled down to something simple and easy to use.
Yes.
And anyone who's a team leader can get something out of this,
Yes.
Personally as well as sort of outcomes for the business. Anything I've missed here in a overview context?
You don't have to lead and have direct reports to do this work. If you are bringing a group of people together who are volunteers in an organization or in a matrix organization where it's just by influence, that will work for you as well.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
dinner time.
Excellent. Family. Get the kids on board. That's a team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and your insight here. If you'd like to find out more, please come find us online at pocketguidetopurpose.com, where you'll find out lots more about this book, blog posts, video posts, all about the other books, of course, card decks and everything else that's relevant in this conversation about purpose. Please visit us online at pocketguidetopurpose.com.